Ladies and gentlemen, students and scholars, teachers and trainers, professors and professionals, those who are watching from the field of science, religion, spirituality, arts, commerce and engineering, the most honorable present Prime Minister Dr. Narendra Modi ji, reverend fathers and mothers, affectionate sons and daughters, respected ministers and doctors, I heartily, cordially welcome all of you. It is really nice time, nice place, nice section. All of you are listening the truth of language and literature. Dear friends, how to describe a place in a village that you visited? You should say where it is, when you visited this place, what you did there, and how you feel about this place. How to describe an enjoyable experience you had in the countryside. You should say when and where you went, who you went with, what you did there, and explain why you think it was enjoyable. I belong to USA, which is the largest democratic nation of the world. It has its own identities throughout the world. Root to fruit, bottom to top. When we read history, we find that in 1945, whether the USA, the America lost in the Second World War and USSR, Russia became the world power. Up to 1990, Russia was in full of world powers. After 1990, the USA, the America became the world's largest power and became the nation of veto nations, veto countries. By having veto power, in this present time, every decision which are taken by our nation these all are implemented by the America. Whatsoever information we are sharing, liking, commenting, subscribing, all these informations are being recorded by the USA, by the America. So dear friends, we are not to think that our nation is lagging behind. Whether our nation is developing nation, but it is the most spiritualist of the world. All over the world, not only in economy, politics and society, but in the field of spirituality, it has its top rank for suggesting the worldly people about the true power of nature. How to describe a long walk you ever had? When this happened, where you walked, who you were with, and explain in how you felt about this walk. I go for a walk every morning, but that is only for about 30 to 40 minutes. Here I would like to talk about a long walk that I did in my winter days, winter vacations. It was a trek of 40 kilometers which started from Dhamkot near McLeodgan in Himachal and ended at Trient. Dharmkot to Trient is 7 kilometers, so the total trek is 14 kilometers. My cousin had told me about this trek, and so I also wanted to do it. I went there 4 of my friends. We drove in our car and stayed at a hotel in McLeodganj. We woke up early the next morning and got ready. We wore comfortable clothes and walking shoes for the trek, and after having breakfast, we drove in our car till Dharamkot. From there we started our trek at around 9 am. It was a clear and sunny day. We were all very excited and the first 3 kilometers were covered quickly. However, when we reached the halfway point, most of us were very tired. We stopped for some refreshments and a breakfast at a tea stall. The view from the tea stall was mesmerizing and breathtaking. Then we resumed our trek, and finally, after 4 hours of walking, we reached Trient. The view there was spectacular. The beauty of the Himalayas awaited us. There were also some snow-covered areas, and we enjoyed playing with the snow. We took a lot of pictures there. We had delicious lunch there, which was freshly cooked, and started the journey back to Dharmkot. The trek back didn't take us as long, and we were back in McLeodganj by 6:30 p.m. It was an exhilarating, amazing experience, and we all felt rejuvenated and recharged. Whenever we meet, we still reminisce about that trip and how amazing the experience was. Another idea that I can share, I go for a walk every morning, but that is only for about 30 to 40 minutes. Here I would like to talk about a long walk that I had. It so happened that my friend came to see me last year in December. 2 years ago, 2 years ago, she went for her higher studies to Toronto, Canada. She had come home. She had come home for her winter vacation, and so she paid me a visit. There were some guests in my house, so we went to a park in my neighborhood where we could chat without any disturbance. It had a track for walking, so we started walking and also chatted with each other. We had so much to tell each other. I wanted to know about all her life in Canada. She told me all about her studies and about her stay there. She told me that initially she faced Initially, she faced a lot of problems, but she sorted them out, and now she was very happy there. She is a pure vegetarian, and in the beginning, she could not find any affordable veg food outlets over there. Then she found an Indian store and started cooking for herself. She told me that she worked 20 hours a week along with her studies and could manage to earn her overhead expenses. She told me about the beautiful places to visit in Toronto. She painted a very rosy picture of Canada in my eyes. The conversation was so interesting that we both did not realize that we had been walking for 2 hours. She has an iPhone which has a health app which tells the miles walked. We had walked 5 miles, which is about 8 kilometers. Surprisingly, we did not feel any tiredness. We came home and she talked to my parents about sending me also for higher education to Canada. Because of her, my parents have agreed to send me to Canada for higher studies. I can never forget this long walk and this conversation, which proved a turning point in my life. Before that, I had never thought about going abroad for studies. There are some follow-up questions. What outdoor activities do people like? I think mostly people like to go for a run or walk in the park because these activities can be done easily and do not require any monetary investment. But lately, with lockdown, I think people are becoming more conscious about their fitness. What are the differences between the outdoor activities children did in the past and now? Children used to play simple games like hide and seek, tag and running in the park, but nowadays children are more inclined towards professional sports. They love to play soccer, or some children go for skating practice. Is leisure importance? Is leisure important to everyone? Why? Well, it is important for everyone to spend some time on entertainment, and one should definitely take a break during the day because in a day's hectic style, the brain definitely deserves some rest. People should spend time rejuvenating so that they can concentrate or focus better on their task later on. Do women have more leisure than men? I don't think leisure has got anything to do with the gender of a person. It purely depends upon an individual's personality. Some people like to work hard, whereas others like to spend more time in entertaining themselves. In fact, at my home, my mother and father, who are both working, spend an equal amount of time on leisure activities. How to describe an item of clothing that someone gave you? You should say what the clothing was, who gave it to you, when you got it, and explain why this person gave you the clothing. In our life, we all give and receive gifts from time to time. I have also received many gifts in my life. some of which were items of clothing. Here I would like to talk about a traditional suit which my maternal gave me as a gift on my birthday. It is a bottle green suit with magenta and golden embroidery. It also has a multicolored stole to go with it, which had a golden sides. It is studded with golden beads. It has a very traditional ethnical touch to it. It is a very beautiful suit. The stole is in crinkled silk. She gave me matching accessories also. She gave me a golden beaded purse to go with it. Whenever I wear the suit, which match perfectly with the suit, when I wear that suit, everyone compliments me. I feel very good when I receive those compliments. Actually, my aunt runs her hobby classes of cooking in Chandigarh. I stayed with her during my vacations and helped her. She could accommodate more number of students because of my help. She offered me money. But I refused because I had not helped her for money. So she bought this expensive suit for me on my birthday. I really like the suit and have worn it on my occasions. This is what about we talk after the completion of the topic. Some relevant questions, follow-up questions. What kind of clothes do people wear after work? People wear comfortable and have to wear uniforms or formal clothes. Once people come back home, they like to relax and want to be more comfortable. What kind of clothes should people wear at work? At work, people should wear proper and formal clothes. At some workplaces, uniforms are needed, which gives them an identity and develops a sense of discipline. It also depends on the type of work people do. If someone is working as a gym instructor, he or she cannot wear formal clothes to work. They have to wear sports wear. Do you think students need to wear school uniform? Yes, I think students need to wear school uniforms as they act as a social leveler or equalizer. Uniforms give an identity to the students. They also inculcate a sense of discipline among students. Uniforms are also good for the school's security, as if any miscreants enter the school, they can be easily spotted. Where do Indian people buy clothes? Indian people buy clothes from shops and stores in the local markets and in shopping malls. There are many small scale stores and boutiques that are run from home, from where people shop for clothes. Also online shopping in India. There are many popular shopping websites like Amazon, Flipkart, Snapdeal and so on, from where people buy clothes. So dear friends, define such topics by grasping, listening, words, thoughts and ideas related to the topics. How to describe city that you think is very interesting. You should say where it is, what it is famous for, how you knew this city, and explain why you think it is a very interesting. It is very interesting. India is a diverse country. There are many beautiful cities in India. Some are beautiful because of their historical buildings, whereas others are beautiful because of their modern architecture. Some cities are beautiful because they are in the mountain valleys, whereas some are beautiful because of the beautiful and warm similes of people, warm smiles of people. Here I would like to talk about Chandigarh, which is also known as the city beautiful. It was designed by the French architect Le Corbusier. It is the first planned city of India after independence. Chandigarh is the cleanest and the happiest city of India, according to two different surveys held in 2010 and 2015. It is also the first smoke-free city in the country. It is a union territory and is also the capital of two states, Punjab and Haryana. The rock garden in Chandigarh is a masterpiece out of waste material. Sukna Lake is the biggest man-made lake. It is a beautiful place for the people to enjoy with their families. Sector 17 market is a shopper's paradise. The Rose Garden is Asia's largest garden. The city has 47 sectors. Each sector has residential and commercial zones. The roads and designs and oriented in such a way that most of the time of the day they are under shade. There are huge parking areas in the commercial zones so that parking problems don't create a havoc on the main roads. The parking lanes are as broad as the main roads. So you see, while the city was planned in 1952, it is still planned and beautiful cities of India. Some follow-up questions related to it. Some questions are simply generally asked by the interviewer when you are sitting for interview. Why do some people like to visit historical places? People go to historical cities to learn or gain knowledge about the past. In the past, their culture, their roots, and the architecture. Why do people go to modern city? People visit modern cities for various purposes. Some go for work or business reasons, and some for tourism. Those who travel for pleasure to modern cities is to experience a life where modern technology every aspect of life and to learn and see how people there are using technology in their daily lives. Singapore is a very good example of such a city where we can not only experience the modern way of life but also see how they have used modernization to help preserve and enrich the environment. What are the problems caused by maintaining historical city? The problems that maintenance of a historical city perhaps can cause are related to the funds required for the restoration and upkeep of the city. Another issue could be pressure on the resources of that city because of tourism. Do you think having too many tourists is a positive thing for historical attractions? No, I don't think so. I believe that too many tourists will lead to pollution and also will affect the upkeep of historical sites. Such sites need a lot of care, maintenance, and limiting the number of visitors to such sites can help maintain them and prevent damage to such sites and also sustain tourism. What can we do to stop from damaging historical places? To prevent the damage to historical places by the visitors to such places, many measures can be taken. There should be strict punishments like high fines for the people who try to cause harm. There should be security personnel employed to ensure that no one tries to damage the historical places, and along with that, there should be security cameras installed to monitor the activities of the tourists. There can be tourist guides appointed who also can ensure that no one causes any damage. Do you think too many tourists is a positive thing for historical attractions? In my opinion, having too many tourists has been advantages and disadvantages. In the advantages we study, it ensures that our history and culture is passed to the future generation. It brings revenue and business for the people of the city where the historical attraction is. There are also some disadvantages. Too many tourists can cause damage to their historical attractions. What advantages can tourism bring to the city? What do some young people like to live in cities? Do most elderly people live in the city or in the countryside? Do you think well-developed tourism will have negative effects on local people? How to describe a rule that you don't like? You should say what it is, why you don't like it, how others feel about the rules, and explain whether you have followed the rule. Rules and laws are made to create a peaceful and harmonious society. If we all obey the rules and laws, then we would all be benefited. There are rules everywhere. Schools are the first place where children learn about the rules and codes of conduct. Every school, college, office has rules like wearing the prescribed uniform, coming in time, doing tasks on time, and so on. My school, college, office also has rules about the uniform that we have to wear. It was navy blue trouser and white shirt on Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. However, on Wednesdays and Saturdays, we have a totally white uniform. All students or colleagues and I do not like this look. I think we should follow the developed countries and everyone should be allowed to wear the clothes of their choice and according to one's personality. Everybody can express their creativity style by wearing different clothes. Uniform should be for certain professionals only, like doctors, lawyers, or those in military or police. At my place, if anyone breaks this rule and doesn't come in uniform, they are fined. The fine for the first offense is 100 rupees, but it was break the rule more than twice, then the fine goes up to 1000 rupees. Luckily, I have never broken the rule and I have always ensured that my uniform is neat and clean, but I still hate this rule. Dear friends, ideas, thoughts, words, preparing us, making us to understand, to speak, to read, write and listen fluently, correctly, accurately and naturally. Some follow-up questions are also provided here. Why do schools make rules? Schools make rules to maintain discipline. They are the centers of learning, where children are molded into responsible adults. We all have to follow rules imposed by the government as adults. So schools start that process of obeying rules in childhood only. What's the importance of obeying law? Without law, we would be living in utter chaos. There would be crime everywhere and life would be difficult for the common man. For example, if we don't obey traffic rules, we would have many accidents. If there were no property rules, people would make their houses anywhere and the whole city would be unplanned. What can parents and teachers do to help children follow rules? Parents and teachers can be good role models for children. Children are copycats. If they see their elderly following rules, they will do it automatically. Just telling them to do something will not have that much effect. It is a good thing to break rules sometimes. It is definitely not good to break rules. But sometimes in case of emergencies, for example, if we have to make way for an ambulance to pass, we may need to break rules. Sometimes it is a matter of life and death. Why do some people say that rules are made to be broken? Some people say because they have a very callous attitude to life. They do not understand the importance of rules. They are lazy and do not care about things. Do you think people should follow all kinds of rules? Yes, children should follow all kinds of rules. They should be made to understand that rules are for their own betterment. Willingness to follow rules should be instilled in. Do you think it is necessary? Do you think it is necessary for children to wear school uniforms? Yes, it is important for school children to wear uniforms. Uniform instills a sense of discipline in children. It provides an identity to the school. Uniform is also a social leveler. All rich and poor students came at the same level. Uniform also provides identity. If any miscreants come in the school, they can be recognized from afar. Dear friends, you are learning how to describe someone you really like to spend with. How to describe someone you really like to spend time with. You should say who this person is, how you knew him or her, what you usually do together, and explain why you like to spend time with him or her. If I had to talk about myself, I would say I am a very reserved person and it takes a lot of time to become familiar with strangers. However, I love spending time with my family. I am very close to both my parents, but as we are all working, the person I do spend a lot of time together with is my nephew, my sister's child. He is nearly 5 years old. He is very special to me. There are many reasons for that. Firstly, everyone says that he looks like me, and secondly, we both like spending time with each other. I think the reason for that is we feel very comfortable with each other. I get to act like a child around him and I miss being a child. He's also like me. very shy with strangers and he is very naughty, just like I was in my childhood. So spending a time with him reminds me of my childhood in some ways. In my childhood, I was in a hurry to grow up, but now I sometimes wish I could reverse time and bring back my childhood. There are so many things we do together, but something that we really enjoy doing is to play pranks on Deeps, my sister and his mother. I think we can do that all day long. We also both love eating chocolates. So whenever we can, we try to bully and eat chocolates secretly. However, I do get scolded sometimes as I am the adult. I also have a dog and so we both like playing with her. We love taking her out on walks and feeding her. In the evening, I take my nephew to the park and just spends time on the swings there. Sometimes I wish he would always remain a child, but I know that's not going to happen even if I wish for it a million times. Some follow-up questions are also related to it, may be asked while appearing in interviews. How many generations usually how many generations usually live together in India? I think the situation in India is undergoing a change. Earlier joint families were more common and 3 or 4 generations used to live together. On the other hand, nowadays nuclear families are more common with maximum of 2 generations living together. It is important to visit family members. Yes, meet family regularly. I think family defines us and family is what supports us and stands with us in bad times. However, I think this selfless bond only stays if we remain in contact with each other. What are the values of family in your country? The main values of family in India are respect for elders and prioritizing the needs of the family over our individual needs. That is why in India we rather in I, for example, we own a house, we own this car. Why is family bonding necessary for happiness in life? Family bonding is necessary for happiness because it gives us secure. I mean, it makes us feel that we are not alone, there is someone behind us. Do you think the support from a friend is different from the support from a family member? I think certainly there is an element of selflessness in family relationships, which I feel is missing when it comes to support from friends. Also, it doesn't create a burden. What I mean is, we do take help from friends, but then it also makes us feel that we have to repay it. This feeling does not come in the case of family. Dear brothers, sisters, you are listening. The useful words, thoughts, ideas, and sentences you can easily modify from these fundamentals and ideas. Describe a time you visited a new place. You should say where the new place is, when you went there, why you went there, and explain how you feel about the place. There are many public buildings and historical places which I have visited in my life. Here, I would like to talk about the Statue of Unity in the Narmada district of Gujarat. It is a colossal statue of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who was the first Home Minister of independent India. His expression, posture, and pose show the confidence and the iron will of this great person. Recently, I had an opportunity to visit this architectural marvel. This statue can withstand winds of 180 kilometers per hour and can resist earthquake of 6.5 on the Richter scale. I came to know about it from the news channels on TV. It was on all news channels in January 19. The Statue of Unity was first opened in public on 3rd January 19. It is the world's tallest statue. It was built in just 33 months. It is made of bronze and is about 600 feet tall. I visited this place with my family and really enjoyed a lot with them. We visited this place in December last year. I had read a lot about it on the internet. Apart from the statue, there are several other things here which are worth seeing. The ticket is rupees 350 per head. It includes the entry to the observation deck, value of flowers, the Sardar Patel Memorial Museum and Audio-Visual Gallery, the Statue of Unity and Narmada River. More than 2 million people have visited the statue already. It has become a major tourist attraction of India. Some relevant and follow-up questions. What measures should be taken to deal with the damage on public facilities? First of all, people should themselves be aware that they use these facilities nicely, only then they will be able to use them for a long time. Otherwise, the facilities may be destroyed. The government should appoint people for the maintenance of these facilities. Another thing that can be done is that a very small fee should be charged for these facilities. That money could be used for the maintenance of these places. What are the differences between old facilities and new facilities? Old facilities are like parks and libraries. New facilities are gyms and leisure places. What facilities do young people and old people like in your country? Young people like gyms and leisure center. Old people like parks. Old people like parks, health centers and libraries. What is the difference between facilities in the countryside and the ones in the cities? In the countryside, the facilities are related to education and health. In the cities, there are many entertainment facilities also. So dear friends, youngsters, scholars and learners, those who are going to appear in the IELTS examination in the near future, definitely they will feel themselves confident, convenient and comfortable in expressing a lot of thoughts and ideas about our nation, society and personally, professionally, occupationally. Definitely these thoughts and ideas works like a word of the truth of the science. Thanks, dear brothers and scholars, learners and listeners, those who are watching. I heartily, cordially welcome all of you again. I thank God who is providing us this valuable time to interact with you and to meet with you through online and live classes. Thanks, dear brothers and sisters.